Hi everyone, welcome back to the Sports Breakdown. Today we are going to do a IPL possible retention list done by the Sports Breakdown ahead of the IPL Mega Auctions 2022. So we'll be listing all 10 teams and we'll talk about the procedure of this IPL Mega Auctions 2022. We'll talk about the retention slabs of ahead of the retention. So each team can actually pick four players. I think the minimum is two players and the maximum is four players. Two overseas and two local, or three locals and one overseas for each of the eight teams. The deadline of this is November 30th. So by November 30th, all eight teams have to list their four retention players ahead of IPL 2022. And after that, from December 1st to December 28th, if I'm not mistaken, the two new teams, Ahemabad and Lucknow franchises, can pick three players which are not retained, three players which are not retained but are going for the ahead of the mega auctions. So each team, the Lucknow franchise and the Ahmedabad franchise, can pick three players. I think one two locals, one overseas. Yeah, and also will be also so sorry. These Delhi Capitals have retained four players. We'll be discussing about that. They have confirmed, and also Rajasthan Royals has confirmed one player who has been retained. We'll be discussing about that as well. And news is that Punjab Kings won't be retaining any players, and they'll be going with a full 90 crore spending. So we'll talk about that as well. First of all, we'll talk about the procedure. Usually, I think in 2021 mega auctions, the purse for each team was 85 crore, but now it has increased or swerved up to 90 crore. As you can see here, the increase from the IPL 2021 auction purse was 85 crores in 2021. It has now increased to 90 crores. And the two franchises, Lucknow and Ahmedabad, I'm sorry if I made a mistake. It's from December 1st to December 25th. They get a window period to pick their three picks for the ahead of the IPL 2022. And the auctions is going to be likely to be held in January 2022. We are not sure about the venue yet. Now, looking at the retention slabs before IPL 2022 auctions, now if a team picks four players, they have a deduction of 42 crores. So that means 90 minus 42 is 48 crores. Exactly. If a team picks up four players, retains four players. If a team does retain three players, there will be a deduction of 33 crores. So 90 minus 33 is 57 crores, Indian rupees 57 crores. So if they only retain three players, then there is a deduction of only 33 crores. If there is a if a team retains only two players, there will only be a reduction of 24 Indian rupee crores. So that will be 90 minus 24. It will be 66 crores. And if it's one play only, they only have a deduction of 14 Indian crores. So 90 minus 14, it will be 76 crores for each team. Yes, so that's how it goes ahead of that is the retention slabs ahead of the IPL 2022 auctions. Okay, let's start doing the retention salary sections. That's what I discussed right now. Let's go through the first team, the defending champions. I mean the IPL 2021 champions, CSK. Let's go through them first. My possible four picks for CSK, who are going to be retained ahead of the IPL 2022: MS Dhoni, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Ravindra Jadeja, and Moin Ali or DJ Bravo. I'm not sure about their overseas players. MS Dhoni has revealed that he doesn't want to be the most expensive player, so I think a player, their maximum salary contract is 16 crore. Secondly, I think it's 14 crore and 12 crores, and the last is 6. I think MS Dhoni wants to be the least expensive, so it will be either Gaikwad or Jadeja who's going to get that 16 crore salary contract per year. So also to not forget, um, each of these players will be retained for a maximum of 3 years before another mega auction happens. So their contract will be 3 years, and each year I think only they'll be paid the 16 crore or 14 crore per year. So yes, for me, I think I'm not sure about the overseas player. I think they'll go with Moeen Ali because we saw how he did in the ICC 2020 World Cup for England. He's a genuine all-rounder. Now today in the Abu Dhabi T10, he played as an opener and he scored 76 not out. And I think the highest opening partnership with Kiran Powell for the Northern Warriors for the Abu Dhabi T10. With the form that Moeen Ali is, I think they have to retain CSK have to retain Moeen Ali for me. But the biggest surprise is obviously Josh Hazelwood won't be retained. He could go expensive in the auctions. Then we have Suresh Raina, a massive servant for CSK. He'll be leaving CSK after 13 years. Robin Uthappa won't be there. When it comes to bowling, Shardul Thakur and Deepak Chahar, Indian pacers. I predict one player from CSK, the fast bowlers, to go to the new franchise. I'll reveal that later. Yes, but these are my four picks for CSK. And CSK will have 48 crores or 48 crores INR to spend ahead of the IPL 2022 mega auctions. Yes, so we discussed about CSK. Let's go to the 2020 five-time champions Mumbai Indians. Yes. Yes, so for me, my possible prediction, retention prediction for the retention by November 30th for MI, Rohit Sharma obviously will be captain. He will be retained by Mumbai Indians. That's definitely going to happen 100%. Just with Bumrah, another confirmation, definitely is going to happen. My third and fourth is a bit unsure. That's where MI could possibly change, in my opinion. So for me, I will go with Surya Kumar Yadav at number three, and then go with either Kyron Pollard. Yeah, I will go with Kyron Pollard. Yes. I think some analysts told that they may retain Trent Bolt, but I don't think Pollard could potentially be the new captain for MI, or could be a replacement captain for Rohit when he is injured. So I won't release Pollard, and he's a middle order batsman for West Indies. He's the current 2020 captain, ODI captain for West Indies. So I won't release Kyron Pollard. He's been a great servant for Mumbai Indians for 10 years, and he's been a finisher for Mumbai Indians. So I won't release Kyron Pollard. The big debate is between Surya Kumar Yadav and Ishan Kishan, but I don't think Surya Kumar will be left out from in my opinion. That will never happen for me. I think Surya Kumar Yadav will be retained by Mumbai Indians ahead of IPL 2022 mega auctions. And so MI also have 48 crores INR to spend as well ahead of the IPL mega auctions, which will be happening in January. Let's go to the next team. It has been confirmed by ESPN Cricket Info, Delhi Capitals. Yeah, I'll share screen on the Delhi Capitals um, retained players. My team, I support Delhi Capitals. They ended up in the qualifier two last year. They lost all their matches in the playoffs. They ended top in the table, but couldn't go through to the final. So these are the four players that the Delhi Capitals have retained. Rishabh Pant, obviously captain next season. That is why he's been retained. I think he'll get the highest salary contract. Prithvi Shaw has been retained. Aksha Patel, Indian, he just picked up a 5 wicket haul in the Test series against New Zealand today. We'll be analyzing that next week on India versus New Zealand. He's been a big player, impact player for India in all three formats. And Henrik Nokia, South African pace bowler, he's a potential death bowler. He was not that impressive in the IPL first leg, but he's been superb in the 2020 World Cup and in the second leg in UAE. Biggest concerns, obviously, DC wise, and I'm as a supporter, no Shikhar Dhawan. I thought Prithvi Shaw will be retained, so that was a big I mean, a surprise for me that um, um, DC haven't retained him. No Ravichandran Ashwin, no Shiraz Iyer. Iyer has opted to go to a new team because he wanted to be captain of DC. I mean, this season, next season, but obviously DC now favor Rishabh Pant to be captain instead of Shiraz Iyer. So Iyer has also opted to leave Delhi Capitals. And Kagiso Rabada, another interesting pick. I don't know. They have favored Nokia over Rabada. Rabada also will be going to the mega auctions in 2021. So that's the news on that. Yeah. Give me a second. Yes. So big surprise is that they haven't retained Ashwin, Rabada, um, Iyer or Dhawan. They have opted those four to go to the auctions. Yes, so that's and Avesh Khan also, who was the best, was the highest wicket taker for Delhi Capitals in the IPL 2021 season, and they haven't picked him as well, retained him. So they'll all be going to the mega auctions next year. I mean 2022. Let's go ahead and discuss about. Give me a second. Not Punjab Kings. Um, Royal Challengers Bangalore. Yes, Royal Challengers Bangalore. Yeah, we'll go through them. Yes, another surprise. Yes, RCB definitely they'll retain Virat Kohli. ABD meanwhile retired from international cricket, so he won't be retained. A big surprise, and I think all the RCB fans are surprised and must be sad of that news. I sent a post on Instagram, so do check out the Instagram page of the Sports Breakdown. I put all of what ABD has achieved during his career. Big loss for RCB in my opinion, but still they have to retain one overseas, and I think they'll go with Maxwell. That was the choice, and ABD has decided to retire. I My third choice will be Padikal. I won't put him to the auction. Some people say Chahal will be the third option. For me, I think Padikal. He has a big future ahead. Padikal, and how he performed with RCB in the first leg in India, I would not put Padikal in the auction. I won't in the mega auction. My fourth choice will be either Chahal or Siraj. I favor Chahal, but yeah, still I think Padikal has to be retained by RCB. I hope they do that by November 30th because he's a big impact player in my opinion. And if they put him in the auctions, I think another team will definitely try to get him. So that's my take on RCB. RCB also have 48 crores Indian rupees to spend in their purse. Even DC, or I forgot to say, even DC also have 48 crores INR in their purse to spend as well. Yes, that is RCB. Let's go to Punjab Kings. Punjab Kings, yes, we have confirmation over here. Punjab Kings, I'll share screen once again. Punjab Kings are unlikely to retain any player. We have got from several sources, from Crick Tracker also, that they won't be retaining any player and they will be going with a full purse. So that means 90 crores. It's been confirmed that by Punjab and even from Pritib's Zinda. Um, that Punjab Kings won't be retaining any players, but we'll see that confirmation by November 30th. But unlikely that they're going to retain any players. So that means players like Singh, Ravi Bishnoi, Mayank Agrawal, Shah Rukh Khan, they'll all be in the mega auctions. Even Adam Markram, overseas player, Chris Jordan, they'll all be going to the IPL mega auctions and aren't being retained by Punjab Kings. So that's the news from several sources for Punjab Kings that they won't be retaining any players. Let's go to the Purple Army, two-time champions, reached the finals this year, Kolkata Knight Riders. Yeah. So these are my four possible potential retentions from KKR. I think this is going to happen. Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan, Venkatesh Iyer, and Shubman Gill. Those are my four picks. I think Venkatesh Iyer has a big future. We only saw him in the second leg of IPL 2021. But I think Venkatesh Iyer has a big future, and I think he's performed well in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy also, for his district, I think, teams. So I think Venkatesh Iyer should be retained. He's a genuine all-rounder. He played for India recently in the 2020 series against in New Zealand, and I was very impressed. He can bowl also a few overs. He can bat in the middle order. He can adapt anywhere. He can bat in the middle order. He can open. He's definitely opening with Shubman Gill. This is why I picked Shubman Gill. I think he has a big future, and potentially, I think Shubman Gill can be the next captain for KKR for this next season. I think Shubman Gill should be retained by KKR instead of Varun Chakrabarti. It's a big miss for me. I think Varun Chakrabarti will be a big loss for KKR if they do put him in the auctions. But I think Shubman Gill can be the captain for KKR. That's why I want to retain Shubman Gill. And obviously, we know the captain of KKR last season, Owen Morgan, won't be retained. I don't think that will happen. 0% possibility of Owen Morgan to be retained. So I think he'll be going to the auctions. That won't be happening. But yeah, that's my intake on KKR. Yeah. So give me a second, guys. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Give me a second. Yes. So that's my intake on KKR. Yeah, so I think Venkatesh Iyer will be retained, and yeah, yes. So we'll go to the next. We went through six teams, I think, right now. Let's go through the whole Halla Akbar, Halla Bowl. Rajasthan Royals, they have confirmed that Sanju Samson is been retained, and it's confirmed by ESPN Cricket Info. Halal ball, Rajasthan Royals, as you know, hashtag yes. They have confirmed that they have retained Sanju Samson ahead of the 2022 IPL, IPL season, and he has agreed to a 14 crore per season contract this week. And they've also confirmed that the front runners for the remaining three slots are Josh Butler, Jofra Archer, Liam Livingston, and uncapped opener Yashasvi Jaiswal. Yeah, and seems like they are going to go with four players. I think tomorrow Rajasthan Royals. I mean today, November 28th. That's where yeah I'll be release uploading this video. They'll be confirming the four potential retentions ahead of the mega auctions in IPL 2022. Sanju Samson has been confirmed right now um, as a retention. My four players will be Sanju Samson, Josh Butler, Jofra Archer will be my three players that will be retained by Rajasthan Royals. Jofra Archer, even though he didn't play for 2021, unfortunately for the IPL season due to an injury, the first season or second season, I think Jofra Archer can't be put to the auctions for me. Ben Stokes can, but I don't think Jofra Archer, because Jofra Archer, he can go to another team. He is a brilliant bowler, especially in the death. More than Ben Stokes, I know Ben Stokes is an impactful player, but the thing is, he hasn't played for months. But for me, Jofra Archer can make that impact. And as ESPN has said, also Rajasthan want to retain Jofra Archer, and Kumar Sangakkara being the coach, I think he's been decisive over here. Jofra Archer could potentially be a good he could be the number one pace bowler for Rajasthan Royals. So yeah, that's why I think it's a good option. Josh Butler, we know he scored 100 in the IPL 2021 first leg as an opener. So he's a very destructive player. We saw that in the 2020 World Cup. He scored 100 for against Sri Lanka. I think he was in the top five run scorers. So Josh Butler is a no-brainer to be retained by Rajasthan. The third option only is a bit of an issue, but I'll go with a overseas player, and it will be Jofra Archer. Let's go to the Orange Army. Sunrisers Hyderabad. That's very interesting. They were last in the table. this season. So yeah, we'll go through Sunrisers Hyderabad. There is some news and sources going on that Rashid Khan doesn't like to be the second overseas retention. I mean the second slot in that salary purse. I mean the second slot out of the three or four retentions, and he wants to be number one. He wants to be earning the most money, more than Kane Williamson. So there's a problem over there. I don't know. There's rumors going on. It's not confirmed yet, but I still think Rashid Khan might be retained by SRH. Somehow they'll do something. But Kane Williamson obviously will get that 16 crore contract. He has to be retained for me, since he's captain. I know some people are saying Kane Williamson is not a 2020 player. He can't play batting at number three. He hasn't performed well in 2021 IPL season. Yes, so many things are going on. But Kane Williamson, I think if he has a team, if he can build that for 1 or 2 years, I think SRH can go through the playoffs and even win the IPL. They just need to build a team. For me, I think I retain three players. I will go with Kane Williamson, Rashid Khan, and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, which I think is a very surprising choice. I think everyone will think it's a surprising choice, but still, I think he's a potential death bowler, and he has struggled. He has struggled a lot, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. But still, I think his experience will be valid for the younger players. The younger players who come to SRH, I think Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is a very, very experienced bowler, and I back him to do well back in India. He struggled in Dubai conditions, I know that, but I back him next year at least for him to come back, and I think he'll be retained. So HRH will have 54 crores in their purse. INR, I forgot. Rajasthan Royals also have 50. I predict that they'll retain three players, and they will have 54 crores in their purse to spend. So Rajasthan and SRH will have some money to spend along with the two franchises. And obviously, I think Punjab Kings are obviously the highest, going to go with the highest purse, um, ahead of the IPL Mega Auctions with 90 crores. Yeah. So we discussed about all eight teams. Now we'll go to the two new teams, which is Ahmedabad and Lucknow. Ahmedabad first because they were the highest bidders. They got the highest bidders for the IPL. I mean, as the new teams. So we'll go through Ahmedabad. For me, I think for Ahmedabad, I will go with David Vaughan as their overseas player. Shiraz Iyer, I think he might be captain of this Ahmedabad team. I think that will happen. As my thumbnail said, Shiraz Iyer and KL Rahul might lead the two new franchises, in my opinion, but we don't know whether Iyer will agree to be captain of Ahmedabad. I don't know about that scenario, but I think Ahmedabad will target Iyer. And Harshad Patel, highest wicket taker in the IPL 2021. No brainer. I don't know whether if RCB release Harshal Patel, Ahmedabad will target him and sign him. I'm sure. So those are my three players being picked for Ahmedabad. Let's go to Lucknow. Lucknow, I go with KL Rahul. I think KL Rahul will be the most expensive player. I mean, in that contract slot, slab retention, he'll get the 16 crore contract. My second pick will be either Johnny Bairstow or Ben Stokes, two English players. I'll favor Ben Stokes because he's all rounder. I know he hasn't had much practice. He has taken a mental health break because it's too much for him. He was taking a mental health break. Um, so we don't know about his practice conditions. He hasn't played cricket for 6 months or 7 months, but still, I think if he goes to the auction, he could potentially be the most expensive player once again, like our RR bought him for 16 crore back in 2019, 20 or 21. Sorry, 19 or 20. So I think they'll most likely get Ben Stokes. And my third pick is interesting. It could be either Shardul Thakur or Varun Chakrabarti. I think they'll go with Varun Chakrabarti because he's a mystery spinner, and I know he struggled in the 2020 World Cup. But still, I think he's a future spinner. I think he's a future limited over spinner option for India, and he could be the number one spinner for India in the future. He has so many years ahead, And I think as Ashwin was once dominating in the spinners list for India and the world in white ball format, I think Varun Chakrabarti is the next. Just give him some time. You have to be patient with him. He's still 24, 25. He's only played only a few games for India in 2020 cricket. But I think he has a big future, and he'll make a big impact for India cricket as a spinner and as a off spinner. He will definitely trouble big teams, and I think Lucknow will target Varun Chakrabarti instead of Shardul Thakur. But Shardul Thakur is still an option. Yes, so we end things here. So we discussed all the 10 teams and the 8 potential teams. So this is my prediction of ahead of the IPL retentions, which will be held on November 30th, and from December 1st to 25th. The teams, Lucknow and Ahmedabad, will get a chance to pick 3 players each, two local and one overseas player. So we'll see how it goes. So that's it from the sports breakdown. Please do subscribe to the sports breakdown. Please click the notification bell on if you haven't. Today we'll be doing a video on Sri Lanka, sorry, on women's cricket. First video on women's cricket, and Sri Lankan women's team unfortunately exited the World Cup. I mean, they couldn't qualify for the Women's World Cup after 24 years since 1997. So we'll discuss that. And Bangladesh, Pakistan, and West Indies women's teams qualified for the World Cup according to the rankings. So we'll discuss all that today morning at 11:30 a.m. So till then, see you guys. We nearly hit the 30-minute mark. But yeah, that's it from the sports breakdown. So please do subscribe. Please tell your friends to subscribe. We are nearly reaching 600. So please do subscribe to the sports breakdown, and please click the notification bell on. Until then, see you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. So until then, bye bye guys, and have a safe day.